Hi, welcome back to Journey into Stories. Today I'm going to be doing my weekly check-in for the week of September 28th, 2024. This week I read 3 books, which was good to get back into the reading. Right before we went out of town, I read a bunch of books, leaving the last couple of chapters for each Journey Reads. So it was really great to get back into reading and being able to share it with you guys. Something I found out with my rating of 2 of these books, I'm just going to say I don't think it's fair for me to rate them. A lot of people talk about, do you DNF a book? Do you not DNF a book? I usually don't DNF a book, but because of the week that I had, I'm going to try really hard to do more DNFs, because when I'm not enjoying a book for whatever reason and I'm just wanting to get through it and hurry up and I'm not enjoying the process, I'm dreading reading it, or in this case listening. I listened to all 3 books this week while I tried to get back into the swing of things. For me, I should have DNF'd 2 of these books. One of the books is from a really wonderful author that I love, and another one is from a new to me author, but I still will try their books. I mean, nothing against the author themselves. I'm not going to give my rating on 2 of the books, but in that case, I'll just say I should have just DNF'd them. I knew probably within the first hour that I wasn't enjoying it, and one of the books was like a 12-hour audiobook. I should have just gone with what my gut was telling me. But I did finish them. From now on, I'm going to do better at DNFing if I'm not feeling the book. I'm the problem. It's me. It's not the books. So what I don't want to ever do is discourage somebody from picking up a book, because just because it didn't work for me doesn't mean it may or may not be a favorite of somebody that watches the video. The first book I read, it's Mill Point Road, Ravenwood #1. So must be a series. It's by J.K. Elam, and I've never read anything by that author. What I will say is, even though I wasn't enjoying this book, what I will say is I enjoyed the author's writing style, and I did enjoy the characters. And the part that I enjoyed so much about the characters is they all had flaws. They all had secrets and weren't really good individuals. And I don't think that somebody needs to write a book with perfect characters, because that's not relatable. That's not real life. Everybody has little bitty quirks, and I enjoyed reading that book a lot because the characters were so flawed. Other than that, I wasn't enjoying the story. It's a thriller, and again, I'm not going to rate it. Instead, I'm going to say it should have been a DNF for me, because I got to the point where I wasn't even wanting to pick up my phone to listen to it in the Libby app. And I kept thinking, come on, let's get through it. Let's get through it. So that's when I first realized I wasn't enjoying it at all. It's classified as a serial killer domestic thriller. And also the part I did enjoy is it's about a group of women living in a neighborhood, and they enjoy gossiping. And a new person moves into the neighborhood. And I kind of could relate to it, because when we moved here, like many, many years ago, everybody at first, I'm not going to say anything bad about my neighbors, they're great people, but everybody at first was kind, but they also let us know that how much they missed the people that lived here before and moved away. and we heard a lot about the neighbors and everything. And there were times where I thought, are they talking about us? I got the feeling they wish that they had the previous neighbors still living here, and a lot of people that happens with. So that part of the book was very relatable to me because it's a group of women. They all have flaws, they all have secrets, and they enjoyed gossiping a lot. And then a new neighbor moves into town and they want to know what's going on with her, and they want to find out things. She's widowed. They just want to get down to the nitty gritty and find out, what is her story? How is she able to afford the house? What is going on? What happened to her husband? Also, a part of this book was very confusing because there were so many characters. Rebecca Cartwright is the recently widowed new neighbor. And what I will say is everybody in the women's club, they discuss things. They all have their own skeletons, secrets, but not as bad as you find out about Rebecca. So there's Zoe Collins, Sabine Miller. She's kind of the main gossip of the group. Maggie, Paige, and then they talk about some of their husbands. And so that took me a while. Either it was because I wasn't enjoying my time with the book, but it took me a while to figure out, okay, who's who, because there just were so many characters thrown out at you in the very, very beginning of the book. Feel free to read it, my goodness. And if it works for you, that would make me so happy for you if you pick up this book. I just don't know why it didn't work for me, because it was a serial killer type friends, but who really are your friends? It's things that would have been enjoyable to me. So I'm the problem. It's not the book, and it's surely not the author, but it should have been a DNF for me. That's the rating I'll give. The second book, here's another one that is disappointing. And this author, I've read many books from her. I enjoy her writing. I enjoy her characters. I enjoy everything I've read from her. I think have given 4 stars to her books, maybe a 3-star, maybe a 5-star. So I do enjoy this author, and it's Allie Hazelwood. And I picked up the book Bride. Now, this is for a couple of book clubs around me that I heard were reading the books, and I wanted to join in. On Libby, at one point there was like 8-9 people waiting on this book. And it took me a while to get the book, and I was so excited to get this book. When I tell you, I've loved most of the books I've read by this author. Again, it's me. I'm the issue. It's not going to be the book. But again, it didn't vibe with me. I do know why I think this one didn't work for me. I was so ready for a thriller type of book, even though I just had read Mill Point Road, and that was thriller, serial killer type thing. Bride, I think I went into it thinking it's going to be darker. I don't know. It's me. And it wasn't, it's was it arranged marriage, or I think it was arranged, if I remember correctly, it's basically between a book about vampires and werewolves and humans. And the very first opening scene, there's a wedding, and it's between a vampire and a werewolf. There's all kinds of things that play into this. What I will say positive, because I don't want to just give negative about this book, she got me blushing with some of the love scenes. In fact, I was in drive-through, and I had my phone on and listening to it out loud. And I did get into listening to one of the scenes, and didn't even realize it was playing in the background. And I put my window down to order my Starbucks. And so I don't know if the Starbucks employee enjoyed anything that they may have heard. And then I went to the window, thank you, and it still was playing. So, and then when I left and I got home and hit pause to come in the house, I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't even pause it, So that kind of was funny. But I don't have very high standards with some things. I was a big fan of the Twilight series back in the day. And I read them with my kids and everything, watched the movies, and some family members who were really into vampires and things like that. They kind of gave me grief, oh, your vampires sparkle or whatever. But I did love the Twilight series for what it was. So this book didn't work for me. Again, I should have DNF'd it. There were so many times I fell asleep during the book. I would rewind to try and figure out where I was. And then there were parts I'm like, do I even want to do this? And then I was counting down the hours. This was a long audiobook. I think it was 12 hours. And all I can tell you is werewolves, vampires, and humans. I listened to this audiobook and I can't even tell you a lot about it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Again, not going to rate it. It should have been a DNF for me. That's what I'm going to say. The third book this week was pretty much a home run for me. It's Dear Child by Romy Hassman. I hope I'm saying the author's name right. Hassman. I did give this probably 4.5 stars, I would say. And then I found out it's a Netflix series. I think there's 6 or 8 episodes, season 1. And I tried to watch it before I got to filming this, and I knew I wasn't going to get through it all. But I did enjoy this book. This is about a girl that goes missing long time ago, I think 13 years ago. And her family is still optimistic that they're going to find her. In the very beginning of the book, a woman escaped and gets hit by a car. And then they call an ambulance and rush her to the hospital with her daughter, Hannah. And once she gets to the hospital, the daughter tells the officers her name is Lena. One of the police officers contacts the family and says, we have your daughter. I think it may have been 14 years, 13 or 14 years, the daughter, Lena, has been missing. And so the parents are asleep. They get up in the middle of the night. They rush to the hospital. They don't recognize her. The father says he'll go into the room because they don't know what condition she's going to be in. They just know she got hit by a car. He's like, that's not Lena. But then he does see Hannah, the young girl, and is like, she's a splitting image of our daughter. So then it just takes you through the book, and you find out bits and pieces that Hannah's giving away, that they lived in a cabin in the woods. There's just some weird things going on. It's very mysterious, suspenseful, thrillerish. Love this book. I gave it 4.5 stars, and it is on Netflix if you're interested. Boy, that was hard because doing this review, I thought I don't want to bad mouth the first 2 books. I think I'm very happy it's turning October because I'm all about spooky season. Give me all the horror, thriller, books, movies, all of it I want. So I don't usually do a TBR of what I'm going to read because then I'm accountable to that. I like to just go with the flow and pick things off my shelf, or I hear about books and try and get them off Libby or what have you. So I'm hoping I get into some really dark stuff. It's October, spooky season, and I am so glad to be back filming and trying to get on a regular schedule now. I hope you're doing wonderful. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Whatever you're doing, you're reading something amazing. And if you're not, don't be afraid to DNF it. Have more courage than me. And there's just so many great books in the world. And, not enough time to get to all of them. So if you're not enjoying what you're reading or something, maybe just DNF it for another time when you're in a better headspace for that type of book. I've done that. I have done that many times. Certain triggers, it's like I can't do this right now because of whatever's going on in life. But then I do pick the book up when I'm feeling better about things that could be relatable in the book. So I'm learning. I'm slow to it, but I'm learning. There's too many books in the world, too little time to get to all of them. So don't be afraid to DNF. That's what I'm going to say from this video. So hope you're doing good. And until the next video, bye guys. Have a great day.